there, welcome to this very short tutorial. I've had a lot of requests from you guys about how to embroider eyes, so I thought I would take an opportunity today while I'm making a bunch of turtles to show you how to add embroidered eyes to a turtle. I'm going to show you the one that we're going to do today. It looks very similar to this one. This pattern is by Crochet by Jenna. It's her bow turtle without the bow. It's adorable and it's a super easy pattern. Go out and find it, or I'll link it down below. And we're gonna be adding some embroidered eyes. Your eyes can be like this without the twinkle, or you may wanna add a little white twinkle to your eye for like a little more character. So sit back, relax, maybe grab a project to practice with me, and let's go embroider some eyes. Okay, I'm gonna do my best to show you guys how I embroider the eyes. I'm gonna use this really cute turtle. It's giving me Shrek vibes. This is the center of the face. This is where the magic circle happens. I'm going to count a few stitches this direction until I decide where I want to stop. So I'm going to count here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is where I'm going to stop, and you can see that's parallel to this spot right here. And I'm going to put my finger there so I remember, and then I'm going to come in down here at the bottom of the head, and I'm going to go in that stitch that I just talked about, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go ahead and pull my yarn through. And then usually I do my eyes 3 or 4 stitches high. So let's count 1, 2, 3. I think that's probably enough. So we start here, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go in here, then I'm going to come back out where I went in. And as you pull down, you're going to use your thumb to kind of place the stitches. So this next one is going to be right next to that. I'm going to go back into that same hole. And as I close it, I'm going to kind of move it to where the yarn is next to the previous stitch. And I'm just going to keep doing this. This is my 3rd stitch. I like to keep going until I like the width of the eye. This time I'm going to go up the right-hand side of the eye. Don't pull too tight because it will make your eye smaller than it should be. This is going to be my 5th time. I'm going to move the stitch over to where it lays flat. I'm going to do another one. This is going to be 6. Now this is Premier Parfait Sparkle yarn. If you use a thicker yarn, you may not have to go around as many times. This is 6. Okay, I think it still needs another row. So we're going to do 7, and then take a look at that. Keep getting caught up in my flippers. Okay, that looks pretty good. And now we're going to add our lash line. So from this top point, we're going to count diagonally 2 stitches. 1, 2. We're going to go back in to that spot. Right here. And that may seem kind of far away, but when you pull it tight, it's going to create that lash line. So I'm going to go back in to this spot where we keep going in. And then I'm going to come out where I originally came in at the bottom. So now my yarn's going to come out, and as we pull tight, you're going to see that lash line. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tie this off and do the same thing on the other side. This is super important. You want to tie off, give it a good 2 knots, and then cut it off. And then tuck it in with your scissors. We want to make sure that that eye is super secure. So that's our first eye. Take off any polyfill that came out. So remember we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle. Now, something that you're gonna notice is that you may have to count a couple of times. You may have to eyeball it and see if it's where you want it to be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then I kind of look over here and make sure that it's about in the same spot. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Need to go one more. Maybe down just a little. So as I come up, I'm just looking across to make sure those are even. Oops. You can also do this before you stuff the head, but I like to do it after because it gives me better dimension. So when we did it over here, we went up 3 stitches. So we're going to do the same thing over here. 1, 2, 3. Give it a look, see if you're happy where it is. You may notice after you do that first stitch that it's too high or too low. And the good thing about embroidery is you can easily cut it out and start again. Okay, so that's my second. I think before on the other side, I think I did 6 or 7 stitches. I can't remember now. I want to say 6 or 7. That's 3. 4. You can see when I first started doing this, I thought it was going to be so confusing. And then I was really surprised at how basically simple it is. I think the biggest struggle is placing it in the correct spot. Once you get it in the correct spot, you can start to play around with different designs. Okay, so now I'm going to look at it and see if it looks like the one on the other side, and it does. So now we're going to go up and do our lash line. So I'm going to put my needle back in here, put it back up at the top, go diagonally down, 1, 2. Oops, 1, 2. Okay, I guess I can go this direction. I haven't done it this way before, but I can go that way. I hope that you're able to see what I'm doing. And I just went diagonally out to make that lash line. And now it's very important that from here that we tie it into a nice double knot. And then we're going to add the white details. And the white details is where you really start to see the personality of the eye come out. Go ahead and tuck that in. Okay, then I'm going to grab some white yarn. Actually, I have this pink yarn next to me, so I'm going to use that. And honestly, you can use a light pink yarn as long as it's, you know, light. I've used light blue, light pink, white, cream. Okay, so we're going to do this side first. So this is super simple. We're just going to go from this part of the eye up to here, and we're going to do that 2 times. So I'm going to start down here and go into the bottom of the eye. And I'm going to go right up here. Now, if you do your white strip here, it will look like the turtle is looking up. And the more high up you go, the more it looks like the turtle is looking sideways. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to go and just do this 1 strip. I've done white detail just under the eye if I want it to look like the animal is looking up. The needle doesn't want to go in. It's being tricky for me. Okay, we're going to use our finger to really place the white of that eye. And you can see that 1 strip actually looks pretty good. I think this yarn is so thick I don't need to do 2. Now I'm going to go back in here and see if I can make my way all the way across the face to the other side. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to go in at the bottom. And then I'm going to go right up here to the bottom of that lash line. And we're just going to do 1. Don't pull it too tight or it will disappear. And now I'm going to take this yarn and go back to my original spot where I went in. and tie my double knot. If the white of your eye looks like it's, oh, I forgot to do the little twinkle. Okay, we'll have to go back and do the twinkle. Okay, the twinkle is my favorite part. Okay, we'll show you what I mean. Sometimes I tie my knot and then I realize I tied it over a stitch, and then I have to go back and cut it out. Look how cute these are looking. I think this sparkle eye is awesome. If you want it to pop out a little bit, just put your needle under there and kind of give it a little shift up. And if it got like too tight or something. Okay, now we're gonna add our twinkle. So I have my second piece of white yarn. Usually I do this at the same time, but I forgot. Okay, so we're gonna go up here. We're gonna go to the very top of our eye. And you can play around with where you place your twinkle, but I usually just go either straight down, or sometimes I go in, or sometimes I go back a little bit. I usually just do it right in the center of this black part of this eye. So I put my needle in sideways. Sometimes it's tricky to get it in. And then I'll show you. As you pull this, don't pull it too tight. There you go, that's it. Now we're gonna go to the other side and do the same thing. And I'll usually look at it just to make sure I remember where I put it. I'm gonna go right into the center of that eye and back out again. If you're using a thinner yarn, you may have to do two strips, but you can see that this is so thick that it's plenty. And that's it, we are done. That is the end of my eye tutorial. I think, you know, it's super easy. It's so much cheaper than safety eyes, safer for babies, and it really gives your creatures a lot of character. And we're gonna go ahead and put that in, and we are done. You can add blush underneath the eyes if you want to. I don't usually do that because I find that sometimes it comes out. This one, I forgot to do the twinkle, but you can see it still looks really cute. Here's another one. They all look very similar.